Ever get that, like, almost physical feeling of ugh when you're trying on clothes, under those awful fluorescent lights?
Oh, tell me about it. It's like all of a sudden, every single insecurity you've ever had decides to have a little reunion in your head.
Exactly. And it's like, whose bright idea was it to make fitting rooms such a judgmental zone,
Yeah.
right? But on a serious note, it does kind of make you think about how much society influences the way we see ourselves. And today we're going deep, deep into that whole conversation around body positivity and self-acceptance.
Which honestly is such a crucial conversation to be having, right? Because it's not just about, liking how you look in a mirror. It's about so much more than that.
Right. So for this deep dive, we're really focusing on the experiences of some incredible body positivity advocates who've been super generous in sharing their stories and insights with us.
You know what really struck me about these stories? It's the sheer honesty and the fact that so many of these advocates, they started from a place where they struggled with the same pressures and insecurities that, let's be real, a lot of us face.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
We're talking about media portrayals that feel impossible to live up to, societal beauty standards that seem to change with the wind, and even just that internal critic we all have, whispering doubts in our ears.
And you're so right, it can be a lot, especially when you consider how relentless those messages can be. And what we're hearing from these advocates is that changing your perspective on your body, like really truly learning to love and appreciate yourself for who you are, it's a journey, not a quick fix.
Yeah, one advocate's story really resonated with me. She talked about how she's spent years comparing herself to others, always focusing on what she perceived as flaws.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I can relate to that.
I'm
I
sure.
mean, it's so easy to get caught in that trap of constantly comparing ourselves, especially in the age of social media, right?
Totally. And
Mm.
for her, it created this really negative cycle of self-talk, which really impacted her self-esteem.
So how did she break out of that cycle? Because that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Well, she discovered the concept of body positivity. And for her, it was a total game changer. She realized she didn't have to passively accept those negative thoughts. She had the power to challenge them, to replace them with positive affirmations.
Oh, I like that. So instead of dwelling on what she didn't like, she shifted her focus to appreciating what she did like about herself.
Exactly. And I think that's something we can all benefit from. So I'm curious, for you listening, what's one thing you genuinely admire about yourself? And it could be anything, big or small, that makes you uniquely you.
I love that question. Don't be shy.
Because, I used to be super self-conscious about being tall, always the tallest one in class photos.
Mhm.
But then I realized, hey, at concerts, I always have the best view. It's all about how we choose to frame it.
That's such a great point. It's about reframing our perspective and recognizing that our perceived flaws are often what make us interesting and unique.
And I think that's the big takeaway from these advocate stories. Body positivity, this journey of self-acceptance, it's not about reaching some perfect ideal. It's about embracing our individuality, celebrating our bodies and minds for all that they are.
And it makes you wonder, right? If you could go back in time and have a chat with your younger self, knowing what you know now, what would you say about body image and self-acceptance? Something to think about, and maybe, just maybe, the answer to that question holds a key to finding that deeper sense of peace and self-love that we're all searching for.